It was a headline that flashed across screens worldwide. BRICS announces 2026 framework. The renminbi takes center stage. The formal declaration sent shockwaves through global markets, signaling a direct challenge to the dollar's dominance. For years, whispers of a new world order had circulated, but now, the plan had a name, a date, and a currency. The BRICS nations, now expanded, were no longer content to play by rules they didn't write. Their 2026 master plan laid out a vision for a multipolar world, where economic power is more evenly distributed. At its core, trade and finance should reflect what countries produce, not just the currency of a single superpower. The post-war economic consensus was over. Something new was taking its place. In financial districts, traders scrambled, analysts speculated. Was this economic war or evolution? This was the result of China's rise, the confidence of developing nations, and fatigue with a system many saw as rigged. The dollar had been the world's anchor, but anchors can become burdens when the world wants to move. The BRICS plan aimed to reweave the web of global finance using a different thread. One thing was certain: the economic landscape of the 21st century would be defined by this moment. BRICS began as an acronym for emerging markets, but it's now a formidable alliance representing over 40% of the world's population. Their goal: reform the global financial architecture, which they see as dominated by Western interests. De-dollarization is at the heart of their agenda. For decades, the US dollar's reserve status gave America immense power, printing money, imposing sanctions. BRICS argues this system is unfair and unstable, and their 2026 master plan is the boldest step yet to build an alternative. They're strengthening their own development bank and creating payment systems that bypass Western control. The blueprint is about economic sovereignty, giving members more control and insulating them from Washington's whims. The alliance isn't without challenges. Its members are diverse, sometimes rivals, yet their shared desire for a balanced global order unites them. They see themselves as the voice of the global South, ready to move to the center. The 2026 plan is their declaration. The periphery is over. They're shaping the future. The world is watching as they build a parallel universe of finance. Many expected BRICS to launch a new, gold-backed currency, a dramatic break from today's fiat money. But the 2026 plan took a pragmatic turn, rallying around the Chinese renminbi. Creating a new currency is daunting. Trust, central banks, global acceptance. It took Europe decades to launch the euro. BRICS, with its diversity, faced even greater hurdles. A gold-backed currency would limit economic flexibility. The renminbi, already part of the IMF's currency basket and backed by the world's second-largest economy, offered a ready solution. The strategy isn't to replace the dollar overnight, but to create a strong alternative for BRICS trade. Member countries will settle more trade in local currencies, with the renminbi as the anchor. This closed-loop system reduces reliance on the dollar and Washington's leverage. For China, it's a strategic victory. For others, a practical solution. It's a partnership of convenience and shared interest, building a new financial system on China's industrial foundation. Anchoring the BRICS system to the renminbi reflects a clash of economic philosophies, production versus finance. The US model is increasingly financialized, with Wall Street at its core, fueled by the dollar's reserve status. This has led to bubbles and instability, as seen in the 2008 crisis. China's model is rooted in productivity, factories, infrastructure, and a massive workforce. The renminbi's value is tied to real output, not just central bank policy. BRICS nations see this as a safer foundation for global trade. The 2026 plan is a bet that economies built on production are more resilient than those built on speculation. Finance is important in China, but it serves the real economy, not the other way around. The appeal of a system tied to tangible production is growing, especially as the world faces debt and uncertainty. Many developing nations want an alternative to paying for the West's speculative excesses. The BRICS plan is their answer, a financial system grounded in what's real. It's a wager on factories over finance, and it's changing the rules of the game. The renminbi's credibility comes from China's industrial power. China is the world's workshop, producing more than the US, Germany, and Japan combined. It's not just cheap goods. China leads in high-tech manufacturing, from EVs to solar panels. This industrial dominance is the bedrock of its economic strength. In the early 2000s, China was a minor player. Now it's nearly a third of global manufacturing. Its supply chains are unmatched, making Chinese manufacturing highly competitive. Holding renminbi gives countries direct access to the world's largest marketplace for goods. It's a currency you can use to buy infrastructure, technology, and consumer products. The BRICS plan leverages this reality, plugging into China's economic engine. China gains a wider market for its goods. BRICS members get a reliable means of exchange. It's a system built on steel, concrete, and silicon, a powerful counterpoint to financial promises. The renminbi's utility is immediate and practical, especially for nations focused on growth. China's economic model is outward-looking, exporting its development blueprint through initiatives like the Belt and Road. It builds infrastructure, ports, railways, power plants across the developing world, often financed by Chinese banks. For many countries, China is a partner willing to fund projects Western institutions won't. These projects transform economies, ports boost exports, power plants enable industry, railways connect regions. For developing nations, it's about hope and modernization. The West sees this as geopolitical maneuvering, but recipient countries see opportunity. The world's infrastructure deficit is massive, and China is filling the gap. The BRICS 2026 plan fits perfectly. As China builds, transactions are conducted in renminbi. This creates natural demand for the currency and integrates economies into a renminbi system. Infrastructure projects drive renminbi use, which in turn funds more projects. It's a cycle of building bridges, literal and financial. The global shift is underway, one project at a time. Kenya's experience shows this shift in action. For years, Kenya's dollar-denominated debt made it vulnerable to currency swings and external shocks. The country was trapped, constantly chasing dollars to repay loans. Then, after borrowing from China for major infrastructure, Kenya renegotiated much of its debt into renminbi. Now Kenya pays for imports and repays loans directly in renminbi, reducing costs and shielding itself from dollar volatility. This move aligned Kenya's finances with its trade patterns, creating stability. More than mechanics, it was a declaration of economic independence. Kenya showed developing nations they have a choice beyond the dollar trap. They can match obligations to real trade, not just currency markets. The message: there's an alternative to the old system. Kenya's step was practical, but its impact is profound. It's a model for the global south. The world is watching and following. Kenya's story is part of a broader trend sweeping the developing world. From Argentina to Nigeria, countries are settling trade in currencies other than the dollar. The BRICS 2026 master plan is the catalyst, providing the framework and liquidity for this shift. For the global south, it's a chance to reset their relationship with the world economy. No longer forced to borrow in a foreign currency, they can insulate themselves from US monetary policy. Trading in local currencies or renminbi lets them focus on development, not currency risk. It also encourages regional trade and integration, breaking down barriers that favored trade with the West over neighbors. The new architecture builds resilience and unlocks collective potential. It's about creating a more just and equitable global system. The BRICS initiative distributes power more broadly, giving emerging economies a greater voice. It's not about destroying the old order, but building a more inclusive one. For billions, it's a new dawn, prosperity on their own terms. The BRICS 2026 master plan is a turning point in economic history. It's the first credible challenge to the dollar's dominance since Bretton Woods. By rallying around the renminbi, BRICS leverages China's productive might to build an alternative financial universe. As more countries use the renminbi, its demand and stability grow, reinforcing China's central role. This creates a virtuous cycle: global demand for Chinese goods, more renminbi use, and deeper economic ties. We're entering a dual currency era: dollar in the West, renminbi across Asia, Africa, and Latin America. US sanctions and monetary policy will have less global reach. For businesses and investors, the world is more complex but more balanced. The era of a single financial superpower is ending. The BRICS plan isn't an attack on the dollar, but the construction of a viable alternative. Grounded in production, not speculation, it's a powerful statement about the future. The world's financial order will never be the same again.